How many roads must a man walk down before they call him a man?
Lumajao, one of India's original rock and roll bards, in his signature skin-tight shorts, long hair, strums the chords of guitar to sing "Blowin' in the Wind."
The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind.
For the last 37 years, the 62-year-old Lumajao on 24th May every year holds Bob Dylan Festival religiously at Shillong to celebrate Dylan's birthday.
How many years can some people? This is a song that really blew my mind. Not just blew my mind, but it opened my third ear towards life, towards the world of music. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind.
It is not only Bob Dylan that people adore here. Festivals and nights are organized for other stalwarts and icons of Western music as well.
The answer is blowing in the wind.
These annual rituals are more than someone's mad act of devotion to their music idols. It is a peep into people's love affair with music that goes on every day in Meghalaya, the land where clouds come home, and its Pine City, Shillong, perhaps India's most musically literate city.
Music is the gift of God to man, the only art of heaven given to earth, the only art of earth we take to heaven, opine many music lovers here.
It is not at all strange to find almost everybody in a household being able to play guitar and sing, which is not true of most places in the country.
We live with music as part of our culture. Dance and music go hand in hand.
Music, it really runs in the veins of the Northeasterners. We are certainly very, very talented, and we've got a natural music gift.
Garos are lovers of music, and there can be no function without it. Music is in their soul, I think. They have grown with it.
Music, medicine of my life. Music, it's already inborn with the people.
If music is not within me, that means music is not with me. And if music is not with me, that means I'm dead.
Many theories are offered to explain Meghalaya's fascination for music.
The Khasi people are basically music lovers. So it's not surprising to find that music plays a very important role in the society and in the life of the people.
The rich heritage of folk and traditional music of Khasi, Jaintia and Garo tribes of Meghalaya is the germ and the root of all music, says Dr. Lapin Shai CM, the first research scholar from the region to unearth the rich tradition of Khasi music.
Folk and traditional music is the base of all forms of Khasi music because of the grammar that is prevalent in this particular form of music. And one has to be really conscious of the different rhythmic patterns that prevail in the traditional music. You know, from the organized beats, from the syllables that we have, which have been laid down in the society, which have been accepted also by the society, they play a very important role and they have a significance on the development of other forms of Khasi music. A child comes with music because the atmosphere that is there in the hills of Meghalaya is filled with the sound of music.
Iris Wortre Thomas, author of a book on Garo music, says Garos are lovers of music and their music tradition began with the imitation of the sounds of nature.
Sound of nature is what our folk people used to imitate, and that has been built up through the years. Every time when there is any get-together, any festival, there has to be music. They have grown with it by listening to the music of nature first. Tribal people are very attuned to music.
Musical tradition of Khasis and Jaintias begin from family and hearth.
The Garos groom the young men in music at the Nokpanthe, or the bachelor's dormitory.
Folk is spontaneous, creative music to express joy of an individual or a community, whereas traditional music is organized, conventional and ritualistic. Both forms of music express life from hearth to heaven.
Oh, way, oh.
The sleepy lullabies put little ones to sleep.
Awa ang jong te raka, oh, way, oh.
Akor, the moral code of conduct, grooms the little one on the right path from early childhood.
It means, oh my father, oh my mother, I need your blessings from the hearth before I go to the world. That means I need a strong background, I need a strong root before I go and shine to the world.
The romantic songs tickles one's senses.
Hasuk ne hashitom kumbayakut nadu basdang shijunom lajunom. A love song based on a folk tale about Utngam Batkawando. It's a popular folk tale. Kumbayakut nadu basdang shijunom lajunom.
Lively tunes of happiness and joy
Dum 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 chong da di chong
echo across the land during festivals.
Dama doketo Nomal pante metrarang Anteng wan galo Dama bangsi sekana Anteng mesana.
The subtle, inspiring, sorrowful tunes for the dead
Ang rijak tekia
can move even the hard-hearted.
Sati awea do ma me ma masal charamo cha angbo matubul dakaramo kangbo.
The ingredients of traditional music would be incomplete without instrumental music, as they have a great part in the evolution, growth, and classification of traditional music.
There are particular drum beats which are being played to welcome the birth of a child. There is a classification even of the use of musical instruments.
Dr. Lapinchai's aim from the Department of Creative Arts, Northeastern Hill University, Shillong.
There are musical instruments which are used in the family in the hearth. So a child is also taught the beats which are used in the family. The child is being oriented to the beats even from the time he or she is born. He or she grows up along with the sense of rhythm.
In spite of the richness of the songs and sounds of the soil, this invaluable heritage in music began to lose its sheen and shine. This lack of interest in indigenous music is mainly due to the attraction to Western music by the youth, says Justin I. Sun, one of the best-known Khasi singers.
Our people, they don't get that real satisfied of our Khasi music, our own music, because our own music is it's light music, so to say, acoustic music. We are still in the low capacity of the quality to live off our music.
Monotony of the traditional music, the quality and glitter of Western musical instruments too have contributed in the decline of our own music, says Iris Watre Thomas, a scholar in Garo music.
Instruments the Westerners have introduced, not only the sounds are better, but the instruments are more attractive because they are polished, they are long-lasting. Whereas our instruments are made out of the degradable materials. Our instruments cannot keep up with the tunes that are coming out now. Our folk songs are very monotonous. The young people don't want monotony in songs. They get bored, whereas the Western music has a lot of range.
Dr. Lapinchai considers lack of awareness as one of the reasons for the relegation of traditional music from the musical radar.
Not wanting to learn and know and become aware of one's own traditional music. So the lack of awareness is something which hinders, the development of traditional music.
The arrival of Welsh missionaries from the West with Christianity, which spoke about putting aside the old and taking on the new, seems to have been literally accepted by the people, without seeking the spirit and real meaning of this biblical teaching.
My Jesus, I love thee.
Many people have blamed missionaries bringing in Western music. To some extent, they are correct.
Iris Watre Thomas, a musician and educationist, says Christianity alone cannot be blamed for the decline of indigenous music.
Culture is quite different from religion. You don't have to belong to a certain religion to sing these songs.
Amazing
The introduction of hymns, gospel music, English education, establishment of boarding schools and colleges, in turn, made the hearts of this land ripe for Western music.
Since the Welsh missionaries landed up in Sora a long time ago, when they started singing religious songs, most of them were in English and all that, so people started understanding that language first, and then when they started getting converted to Christianity, automatically everything is done in English, and of course the British were here.
Keith Wallang, a musician, promoter and event manager of musical shows.
Coming to a little more modern times, everything to do with the government is done in the English language. For a long time, Shillong's been the educational hub, so the common language again is English and not Hindi. Second thing is that I think our kind of folk music, it stems from a different thing compared to Indian folk music, so maybe that's the reason why our connection with Western music could be made a little bit more simpler.
Gags Chisi, the project director to promote Western music, says first musical education was in the church. And it was just a matter of time before voices went from church to stage.
The concept of even, the Sunday schools, where a little child, hand in hand with an elder brother or sister, goes and attends this church. Then they start singing in common. So this little thing about sharing music together, to be able to sing in harmony, that is a concept which is built into a child's love for music. And that is where the major grooming, and they have been able to then, encourage the better ones to move into areas of specializing in. The church has played, I'd say, one of the major roles in grooming our youngsters towards the love for music.
Justin I. Sun, a master choir in the church, is the best example who reached numerous stages from the pulpit of the church as he hit too many correct notes to be confined to church.
Church music also, it's a great thing which I got spirit to sing. I learned from the church, and then from time to time until now also I used to perform as a master choir also in the church. Those who are present always in the church, they got that spirit to sing and then to perform themselves according with that prayer, inspiration which they got from the church. So they are more increasing their talent also to sing. They try to translate the word of God to the Khasi language. So from the Khasi language, they make hymns, they make songs from there, and then people can sing by own language in the church.
In a little house made of earth and wood lived a country boy named Johnny Be Good. Never learned to read and write so well, but he could play the guitar just like a ringing bell.
In Shillong, don't ask a child whether he can play a guitar. Ask how good he is at it.
Well-known musician Arjun Sen, popularly known as AJ in Shillong, says,
Even as I grew up in Shillong as a child, we'd go to local fetes. We'd see local bands like the Vanguards and all play, and we thought they were the Beatles. It is not at all strange to find almost everybody in a household being able to play guitar and sing, which is not true of most places in the country. In personal experience, when I went to school in Delhi from Shillong, I was the only boy in my school who could play guitar. In Shillong, almost everybody could play at least one Jim Reeves song or one Cliff Richard song. Who knows why it happens, but it happens, that's enough.
Rudy Wallang, the front man of the only band that plays blues in the country, says,
My dad used to be a musician. At home, music would be on like almost 24 hours. And then dad would have his band, they would be practicing at home. So I'd be sitting in a corner listening to them. I think I went for some piano lessons when I was about 6 years old. Out here, we don't have Hindi as the mother tongue. It's English actually. You keep on being bombarded by the radio stations playing Western music, TV, 24-hour channels, constantly bombarding society with Western music. I just think that Western music and English being the main language, I think it's easier for them to understand and accept. Shillong was also a summer capital for the British tea planters during that era. So with them, they brought the Western music, pop music. So I think all this together has played an important role in this evolution of Western music so strongly in the Northeast compared to the rest of India.
One of the pioneers of original score and music, Lou Majau, who used to say always that,
If you cannot be what you want to be, why not try and be just what you are?
Lou, who began his musical journey in early 1950s, further says,
I switch on the radio right from a local radio station over here, All India Radio, and then Voice of America, BBC, etc. It's the English music. So I guess that's already implanted right from like over the years.
We are still a very rural economy here. For us, major form of recreation is still music and dance. That was where they found ways and means to express themselves as well. Perhaps there was a competition. The joy at winning would be expressed in the form of music, what we call in Khasi ki phawar.
R.G. Lingdo, an ace blues harp player and ex-minister who left politics in his prime, always found the right notes in the field of music.
Education has also always been English medium. Third factor has been the influence of missionaries. For them, the language that they could communicate in has been in English. So these are the factors that made Western music gain prominence.
The ephemeral quality of the rock and roll to seep young, restless bones is another theory put forward to explain the eternal love for music in this land. Music gives soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and charm and gaiety to life and to everything.
Earlier times, country music was what dominated more than perhaps gospel music. Today, if you look in the youth, it's more of heavy metal and thrash metal that dominates more than gospel music.
Music has momentum and continuity here. There are a couple of gigs every week, and in autumn almost every day. The music store sells a guitar a day, and window shoppers throng to album display counters throughout the day. The bands here are as talented as those playing elsewhere.
Organizing bashes to scout for talents amidst the wealth of talents by reputed and well-established music channels are a routine affair here.
I cheated myself like I knew I would. I told you I was trouble. You know that I'm no good.
Considering the amount of people we have in terms of population, the fact that we can find so many singers, the ratio is much higher here.
Neil Nonkenry, well-known piano artist.
But a lot of people have said that to me, even people from abroad who've come here. They said, what is it about this place that makes everybody sing?
Shillong is the city where music stopped its itinerary. In no other city in India does rock, thrash, blues, country music and metal dominate so strongly as in Shillong. Cabbies play Deep Purple, heavy metal and so on as they weave through the lanes and by-lanes of Shillong.
Never know how much I love you. Never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hard to bear. You give me fever.
Shillong is lucky in a way that we have like a blues band, probably the only place in India where you have like a blues band playing. We have actual reggae bands here.
Music event manager Keith Wallang.
You have straight ahead rock bands, you have extreme kind of metal bands. And then you have these bands like Somersault who are trying to put traditional music, mix traditional music up with the thing. So country music, which is not there anywhere.
The city has produced many bands which are recognized all over the country.
We have Straight Brothers who are doing very good bands like Next Band, Fourth Element, blues bands, Mojo, Grey Society was there.
Ear-ringed Bob R.J. Lingdo, who has his harp in his jacket as a constant companion, says,
Now we have Soulmate. Then you have the all-girl band, the Flatters. And then we have the younger generation, Dimsel and all these guys who are doing so well and have so much potential.
Keith Wallang, the dreadlocked music promoter and event manager.
This year when we attended the Campus Rock Idols competition, and there were I think about 9 or 10 local bands that entered, and the quality of musicianship has definitely gone up, and they are starting to feel proud about singing their own songs, which is the best thing that can happen to music, I think, this side. So people who are making an impact, there's Lou Majao for sure. Somersault is one of the newer sounding bands. There are many bands out there that are trying to do their stuff.
Yet I realize we are but slaves.
Musicians in Meghalaya are today trying many different things. Some sing experimental indigenous rock. Another band releases an entire album on Khasi allegory. Soulmate, arguably the best blues band in the country, is busy with concerts and performances all over the country.
I haven't felt like this in quite a while. I miss you, baby, and that's no lie.
The music that Soulmate is performing is a mix of blues as the basis. So I've got a strong liking for good melodies. It's blues based.
Rudy Walang of the Soulmate Band.
I'd like to call it soulmate music. Blues, okay, it comes from suffering. The way we perform, wherever we've gone, we've been singing about love, we've been singing about peace, and we've got a huge following right now, I think, in India and other parts of the world, wherever they've heard our music.
Back home to you.
Malu, or Uncle Lou, the veteran of the 50s and founder of Great Society Music Band, is still going strong with his composition that stand as a class apart from the rest in the field.
I thank you for the saving light when I was trapped by the midnight dogs of doom. I thank you for the soothing rain when madness rules and love's in vain.
Lumaja writes what Lumaja feels. It doesn't need a particular atmosphere. It does not happen like that. If it happens, it just happens.
You're so beautiful, always beautiful. This is the life of Lumajao. This is the love, the hatred, the fear, the hope of Lumajao. Always beautiful, you're a child of the sun.
World-renowned Assamese music legend Bhupen Hazarika immortalized Shillong in 1960 with these words:
Shillongore godhuli khopon khohoror moromi khorotor khourani khonali.
Golden memories of an evening in Shillong, my dream town, during sweet autumn. Fast forward to 2009. The spirit of sweet autumn continues to be celebrated through music. There are back-to-back musical concerts throughout the year, says Keith, as he enumerates the musical calendar of Shillong.
Bob Marley tribute, which happens in the month of February. Then after that, generally comes the Roots Festival. Then comes the Bob Dylan tribute concert. Then of course we have the Autumn Festival that generally happens towards the end of October. Then we have Campus Rock that either happens in December or in the month of January. Then last year we had Great Indian Rock, which is also going to happen again this year. Roots, natty roots, dread, thingy dread, I and I are the roots.
International and national music bands do not miss to include Shillong in its itinerary of India and South Asia.
Firehouse has been here, Michael Lunster Rock has been here, Air Supply has been here, Scorpions has been here, Sepultura, then Eric Martin, White Lion was here. Apart from that, we've had lot of independent foreign bands that have come in, which to me has made a better impact. Apart from these big bands, there's been like Aurora Jane and Massive Change, then M Trio, Sean Lane, Dub Shack. National level bands, I think most of the big national level bands have been to Shillong.
The bands that have come here, they've had the biggest audiences here.
Ace harp player R.J. Lingda.
Audiences of 15,000-20,000. And if they go to big cities like Bangalore and Bombay, they don't get more than 10,000.
In a region where militancy occupies a major area in the public mind, Meghalaya has left a compartment for music. It is this compartment of music that catapulted Shillong to the world music map, with 2 Guinness Book of World Records for drum and guitar ensemble.
Only in Shillong it's possible to do that, to gather so many people, so many guitar players. If you imagine like 1,000, 2,000, 3-year-old or 4-year-old kids holding guitars in their hands, and they were playing to that song Knocking on Heaven's Door.
1, 2, 3, 4. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
Drum ensemble and the Guinness record that came with it was not so much for the Guinness record. It was more for attracting national and international media attention for a positive reason.
Western music has acquired a demigod status here. This is a place where music talent supply exceeds demand. At the same time, the abundant talents available lack proper grooming and training to make music as a career, opine established musicians R.G. Lingda.
We talk about unemployment, we talk about talent. There is talent as far as music is concerned. Now society has to put pressure on the political system to allocate some of the funds for the development of the music industry. Musicians, if they were given the opportunity, would embrace music as a form of employment. Really make Shillong the rock capital of India,
Music speaks what cannot be expressed, soothes the mind and gives it rest, heals the heart and makes it whole, flows from heaven to the soul.
I believe in the power of music. We wrote the song, This Good World. God didn't keep anything in this world that's bad. It's man that misuses it. There's talk about prohibition like it was a solution. Those who want to, they will get it, no matter how much you try to ban it. Forbidden things will have a thrill, even when perhaps they'll kill. Laws can never change a man. Education will and can.
Northeast India, where bomb blasts, militancy, floods, ethnic clashes, social ills and youth unrest hog media limelight and create a negative image of the region, Meghalaya has produced the soothing balm of the power of music to erase the negative shade.
In 2003, when I was the Home Minister, we wanted people to come out and celebrate Independence Day because we found that a whole generation of kids did not know what celebrating Independence Day and Republic Day was all about. We used music to break the bun culture. We brought the band Aphrodisiac from Australia. They managed to get out a crowd of about 15,000 kids. My fight against militancy, it did not start in 2003 when I became Home Minister. In fact, I would say it goes way back to the time when we were in Mojo.
An idea can change your life, states a commercial slogan. But can music change and mold life? Absolutely, say veteran and novice musicians of the Abode of Clouds.
Music is the only vehicle, or at least one of the richest vehicle, to get in that little bit of sense or peace in the region back. Just the right vehicle to get in the good things that we lost.
It's music that's kept me sane. If music would not have been there in my life, I think I'd have gone crazy long time back. Till today, whenever I feel things are going haywire mentally, emotionally, music is what stabilizes. It definitely can change lives.
Music is the biggest gun because it saves and it does not kill.
I remember this song that written is called Hey Little Man. So I had written for this friend of mine. When another person heard the song, he said Lou, after listening to that song, he said I feel as if he had written that song for me. It gives me hope. Definitely, it has the healing touch.
Hey, little man, the world needs everyone. The world needs you. And the world needs me.
Make me a channel of peace, prayed Saint Francis of Assisi.
We shall overcome, sang civil rights activist Martin Luther King.
Both these songs made their indelible mark on the annals of history and will continue to inspire generations to come.
Rudy Walang, the guitarist and songwriter, adapted a verse from an indigenous Khasi song and tune to compose his song Shillong to convey his message to the people of Meghalaya of this generation.
We've incorporated this old Khasi folk tune called Ser Lapalang. For me, it's one of the most beautiful melodies in the world. We just chose one verse. Wherever we've played the song, people have always requested for the song again and again and again. It's about accepting life as it comes without trying to be jealous of other people or trying to intrude in other people's lives in their ways of thinking. It's more about being yourself and accepting the good with the bad, like a tea strainer, accept and absorb only the good stuff.